My man Brian, thank you so much for having me, working with me here as I'm doing this. We're in the home stretch now, and I'm going to turn it over to my man Derek, who does our science report. He's always giving us fantastic information, and Derek, take it over.
Thanks, Rocco. So this week's topic is the flu and the vaccine for it, which hasn't been working well. So this year's flu vaccine is actually a very poor match to the virus that's been infecting most of the people. So doctors and experts have been urging the aggressive use of different other drugs for the flu. So this year, the vaccine for the flu that they've chosen cuts a person's risk of getting the flu by 23%. A sharp drop in effectiveness from the 50 to 60% that occurs when the flu shot is well matched to the influenza strains in circulation. The figure that I was just presented is on the low side for flu vaccines. In the past 10 years that they've been studying how effective it is, the vaccines have ranged from 10% to 60% in their effectiveness of how effective they are. So obviously this less effectiveness may be getting more people sick, and those who do get sick may have more serious symptoms. So the CDC, the Center for Disease Control, has been recommending that people basically try to undertake other drugs and possibly see their doctors to see what else that they can do for them. So typically what happens and why it was ineffective was drug makers designed the flu vaccine around what is happening in the opposite hemisphere. Obviously, it's winter in Australia and South America and lower Africa when we have summer, so they basically use what they find down there to basically test and try to come up with a vaccine for what we'll see here. And this basically works about 85% of the time. However, this year, the strain from the southern hemisphere mutated between the seasons. So basically, as what happened was the virus itself ended up mutating and then it became less effective. So this led to as I mentioned before, the reduction of an individual's risk of doctor from the vaccine by 23%, which is kind of low, like I mentioned before. However, this effectiveness seems to be highest among children, 26%. So if you have a child getting the vaccine, you're less likely to receive the flu. However, if you're an adult from age 18 to 49, you have a likelihood of 12% of it being effective and 14% if you're 50 or over. Now, there's good news on the horizon though, because researchers from McMaster University in Canada and the School of Medicine at Mount Sinai have revealed that there's going to be a new class of antibodies that could lead to a universal flu vaccine that will work for the next 5 years. So basically, they've found a thing that may become the new strain of the flu. However, they might be able to give you a vaccine that will work for the next 5 years, depending on if the vaccine ends up working the way they would like it to. So obviously, while these vaccines are crucial for protecting against the flu, we also need to have good hygiene to make sure that we avoid getting other things. So obviously, if you're sick, you don't want to be in contact with other people because you can get them sick. In addition, you want to try to stay home when you're sick. Cover your mouth and nose when you cough or sneeze. Wash your hands often and avoid touching your eyes with your sick hands if you are sick. Additionally, the nose you basically just do not want to get the sickness inside of you. However, even though the vaccine doesn't seem to be effective, the CDC is still recommending it to anyone who's 6 months or older because it basically does cut your risk of getting the disease by a bit, which is quite good. So obviously, if you would like to become more resistant to the flu, this is a good way to do so. You'd like to get the vaccine. They have it at local pharmacies, and your doctor can give you more information about that. But like I was saying, basically the drug that they're giving out is not that effective. However, it is working, so for some people this may be a good option if you have not gotten the vaccine yet and would like to avoid getting the flu. Back to you, Rocco.